YouTube, what's good? What's going on? It's your guy, Hugh Steph, and this is Billionaire Talk. Welcome back to the channel, man. It's always good to have y'all back. Today, we have ourselves a video from O'Shea Duke Jackson, and this is going to be about our beloved Tia Mowry. Apparently, this is about how it looks and feels to hit the wall. So let's go ahead and tune into the video. But of course, first, I need y'all to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Make sure you share. Make sure whoever shares it again. Keep this thing circulating, man. We are doing good with these numbers, and I truly appreciate y'all. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video.
October 2022, Tia Mowry filed for divorce from her husband, Corey Hardrick. Now, it shocked the whole entire entertainment world, especially those people who knew about their story from the black community, because people looked at Corey and Tia as an example of black love. And Corey Hardrick didn't want the divorce. He wanted his family. But despite his plea to stay together, Tia Mowry went on ahead and hit the switch.
Focus on my happiness. I feel like women, we tend to focus on everybody else's happiness, making sure that everybody else is okay. But at the end of the day, it's about self-love. And when you start to really work on yourself, love yourself, know your value, know your worth, and then all of a sudden there's this awakening.
And of course, when
My question for that, though, is how come she didn't have all this self-love and all this prior to marrying him? You know, I don't want to make this a man and woman thing, but I mean, I guess typically there's some truth in saying that usually in relationships, men tend to love themselves more to where, you know, they understand what they have to do and they're willing to take care of their woman, their children, and put them before them, so to speak. Not above their duties. Obviously, you got to make money. You got to do what you got to do to run the household. But it's a different type of love when it comes to us, is what I'm getting at. This might be a bit of some devil's advocate. I could kind of understand what she means by self-love. But again, my biggest question for that is, how come you didn't have that before you married, bro? You're not supposed to get with somebody, in my opinion, without being happy, without feeling fulfilled, so that by the time you get with somebody, y'all can put y'all's happiness together, focus on raising the children, and making sure they have everything they need in life.
When you're a man and your wife or girlfriend leaves you, you're upset and you're broken. And that's exactly what happened to Corey Hardrick. On the flip side, Tia Mowry thought she deserved a lot more than what she had. So she went out to the dating market. And then she found out this.
When dating was, when I was, dating this person, it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was wonderful. There was courting that was, involved. And I was saying how I feel like that's no longer, present, meaning like people just don't court each other anymore. And this person was like, well, that's old news. Like people just don't do that anymore. There's just this whole new way of doing things. And I'm like, you mentioned tradition, and I think that's where it kind of needs to go back to, where, a man is, courting a woman and showing her, how much he appreciates her and wants her and loves her.
Yeah, the problem with that is it has never stopped. Today's social media is tricking women into thinking that it's only about them. That's the problem. Men still, I'll even use me as an example, because I just opened someone's door and they said to me, I'm surprised you did that. It's like, are you surprised that the person doing it or the fact that it's done? So it's not that the chivalry is dead. If you are surprised that a man's doing it, it's probably because of the pattern of men you're dating. It should never be where you are shocked that someone's opening your door or paying for your lunch. And we got to understand something. Men paying for your things, yeah, that's courtship, but it's not necessary. It's not obligated. There's other ways a man could court a woman, you know what I mean? If y'all heard it, everything was about me. He should make me happy. He should make me feel good. It's always about what can you do for me on that level, not, hey, what can we do at our age and figure out how to move in life and what's the next step if we bring children in. It's always about what you can do for me first, and then we can get to that point. You don't want to go for that, man.
Discusses something that's very interesting. Number one, in either clip, the first one that we played or this one, she never accuses Corey Hardrick of any mistreatment. The only thing that she says is simply she wanted to prioritize herself, self-love, self-care, focusing on her own happiness. These are her words, not mine. But in this particular clip, she admits that when she was dating Corey Hardrick, it was a beautiful thing. And in comparison to him, the men of today are not interested in showing that level of courtship towards women. She even cites it herself. She states that what is it about these men that they're not trying to go out of their way to show a woman that they want her, that they desire her, that they want her to be his. Well, Tia, maybe these men are focusing on their own happiness. See, Tia Mowry is facing an interesting dichotomy here, ladies and gentlemen. And that dichotomy is Tia Mowry wants what she desires for herself, but she doesn't care about what the other person is supposed to receive. And even if that person is making a constitutional effort to be in a relationship with her, it doesn't matter because for her, it's about her self-worth, her happiness, and self-love. And to be fair, I think that her and Corey Hardrick lasted so long because Corey Hardrick was willing to reduce himself. And that's what a lot of women gotta understand. At a certain level, a man who has opportunities, a man who has a certain amount of money and who really loves you, he will reduce himself for your happiness. But that does not mean that other guys will do the same.
I mean, reduce can mean a lot of things. I just personally don't like the term because I shouldn't have to minimize who I am to maximize your happiness, if that's what I got from that. Y'all leave it in the comments. Correct me if I'm wrong about what he meant by that. And again, to some degree, I understand, but I just want to push the narrative that you do not have to belittle yourself, minimize yourself, or anything like that for someone else's happiness. Just be who you are, and they'll love you the most if they can accept who you are. Let's put it like that.
When you go back out there in the dating market, the market typically reacts to not who you are, but what you can give. And when you're 40 plus years old with 2 kids and you're a high net worth earner, there are not a lot of men just lined up that you would want to date that are willing to deal with you. One reason is most of those men are already gone. And then there's also other issues that we're gonna get into. But despite this, Tia Mowry has made a big announcement.
Hey, I'm doing okay. I truly feel like I'm really taking care of little Tia. You know, these past 3 years, oh my God, I'm about to cry. Sorry. I really feel like in these past 3 years, I have gotten to know myself. There have been lots of moments of solitude and silence, but I feel like that is where growth happens. You know, what my therapist told me, she said, Tia, you know, you've done a lot of healing. You've done a lot of growing and you've done a lot of reading. And now it's time for you to get out there and to apply what you have learned. I'm ready. I'm ready to fall in love again. Like, I am ready for love.
Now, Tia Mowry all of a sudden is ready for love again. And that's important because she talks about her therapist and what she's willing to do and all of the changes that she's made. She's ready to fall in love again. And this is something that I notice, especially a lot of successful Black women do. They get to where they need to be. And then all of a sudden, you know, hey, I've healed myself. I'm ready to fall in love again. I'm ready to date. I'm ready to do X, Y, and Z. The problem is somebody has to be willing to date you that you like. And this is a fundamental error that Tia Mowry is still facing. In the beginning of this episode, we played a clip where she is talking about caring only about herself, her own self-care, her own happiness, focusing in on self-love. She's now also being very selfish again. Now she's ready to love, and now she's ready to fall in love again on her terms. Unfortunately, there comes a time in life where things are not really about our terms. Isn't that what the word sacrifice is about? You see, in order for us to get what we want out of life, we cannot determine our outcome. Now, we can say that we do, and obviously making decisions like being studious, working really hard, being smart, managing your money, things like that help. But that's discipline, and that is sacrifice. And you're sacrificing a part of yourself now to get more in the future. But if we want more in the future, somebody has to open the door for us. Our individual efforts in our life, as we see it through our lens, have only opened so many doors right now. If we want more, we have to impress people who have more to give. That's the same idea in business. It's the same idea in relationships. The more we want from someone else, typically the more we got to give. And if you're not concerned about what somebody else wants or caring about what somebody else needs, it doesn't matter that you are ready to love, because you're still looking at life through your own vantage point, and that vantage point doesn't matter because the man that you desire needs incentive to put up with you every day. And then it comes to this particular point that's really sad.
Okay, so I be seeing a lot of women saying nowadays, like, men don't really chase women like they used to. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Men not like they used to be. And it's like, nowadays, a lot of women ain't nothing to chase. Back in our grandma day and back in the day when women were provided for and when women were taken care of, a man actually had to put in a certain kind of work to get certain benefits from women. They had to marry a woman to have a baby with her. They had to marry her to get her in the house cooking and cleaning. Nowadays, women give a man everything for the bare minimum. Like, these men had to go to the strip clubs to see a girl undressed. Nowadays, women just do it for free just because they feel like they can. It's like women need to pick a lane. Like, you cannot be a 304.
Now, this young lady is mirroring what Tia Mowry said earlier. Men don't chase women like they used to. That's what Tia Mowry was saying. She feels that you should chase her, but she's never giving you any real reason why you should chase her, but you should chase her because...
Hold on. She actually said her issue is men aren't courting her, but maybe that is what she meant. She could be chased. And some women do still want you to chase them. Looking at, like right there, looking at what she's doing or what she's been doing lately, definitely is a thing of, I'm confident, I'm sexy, I'm still attractive. Yes, I'm older, but, I got it going on. And a man should be lucky for me to even look his way. And he has to work for it. Because she's attractive. I'm not going to act like she's not. She's definitely very attractive. But she's not like, it's not that she has kids. Not in my book. I'm not doing that over here. Like, if you got kids, cool, whatever. It's just, you're for somebody, you're not for somebody. It's always going to be two sides of that coin. But the thing is, I think what people realize about her is if you're willing to walk away from your marriage and your family to go find happiness, which does come off a bit selfish, she's entitled to that, but it is selfish. What does that leave other men? You are a walking red flag. Men are going to see that and be like, why would I invest all this time and energy into you? Plus, you want me to chase you, so you playing. I shouldn't have to do that. What am I going to get? 5 years of you, and then you're going to turn around and say, I'm not happy, I need to find myself again? She did it. I think she did it to herself. Just saying. Her thing is, she can get a man right now. She don't like the men that like her. She wants higher. She wants more. She wants the Superman to wine and dine her so she can feel, like it can match what she's seeing herself as. It don't always work out that way, unfortunately.
I'm Tia Mowry, or I'm a woman. I have this self-inflated ideology about myself. And so since I share that ideology personally, then you need to share that ideology personally. But the lady says, nowadays, women ain't nothing to chase. A man used to have to put in work to get benefits from women. But a lot of things that women used to keep, they're doing it for free, which has lowered the value of these same women. But that's not the most important part.
And a housewife, y'all be talking about how y'all want to get tricked on and y'all don't care what men think, but then in the same breath, y'all talking about how y'all want to be taken care of and y'all want to be provided for. Like, y'all delusional. Like, y'all part of the problem. Like, men change because women change. Like, y'all not like y'all was back in the day at all.
Here's the most important part of all of this. You don't care about what men think. You even say that, but you desire to get tricked on. You desire to be provided for. And you're accusing these men are changing, but the men have changed because the women have changed. And this is the ecosystem that Tia Mowry finds herself in. The ecosystem that many women find themselves in. I'll be doing a story about these women in New York City that are literally paying $100 to go to speed dating events and men are getting it free. The ecosystem where men are not getting what they want from women is just getting worse. And men are not going to sit around and wait for you. They're not going to sit around and wait for you to be ready to love. They're not going to also accept what you want to give them. And in order for Tia Mowry to be in a relationship with a man, that man has to be able to accept whatever she wants to give that man. Whatever time, whatever compassion. And then again, if things don't work out, she can always go back to saying, you know, it's all about my self-love. It's all about my self-care. I'm having another awakening. I'm focusing on my happiness. And let me just tell you this, in Tia Mowry's case, when you're successful like her, other men watch how you handle your celebrity breakups. The same thing with Cardi B. I'm going to tell you exactly why Cardi B could never get a guy better than Offset. It's not because she's not beautiful or because she has children. A lot of men who could have had interest in Cardi B simply looked at the outburst and how she handled Offset. Now, we're not here to say that Offset was not guilty of those things. Sure, he could have been guilty of at least some to all of those things. But the calling a man the B word, crashing out on Twitter, putting their business out there in the streets. So what happens is when you're a celebrity man and you have a lot of money and you see that behavior, it forces you to say, no, she is exactly just too risky for me to want to deal with. And obviously, I don't need Cardi B. I'm already doing well. Like, what do I need her? So then I'm not going to be interested and I'm not going to pursue her. A lot of the sneak dissing that she did toward Corey Hardrick, throwing him under the bus, liking posts that were dissing him. It's not like men don't see this stuff, okay? So men are not eager to deal with a woman who, in our opinion, let go of a perfectly good man. So if you were to let go of Corey Hardrick, who was, by definition, at least we think, a perfect father, a perfect husband, at least to what he could get, how then can we say that we would have a chance as a man? It doesn't make sense. You left this guy for no reason. And then after you left him, you kept talking about him. You kept throwing shots at him. You kept trying to build your media career off of him, and then nobody still will deal with you after these 3 years. You look like a sad, delusional case. So even if you want to love somebody else right now, and again, they want to love how they want to love. They don't want to love, in her case, Tia Mowry, and women who think like her, they don't want to love the way a man wants to be loved. They don't want to love with a certain level of respect, and for certain men, a level of submissiveness. They're not going to give you that. They're only going to give you what you want. And no man that has the money or the success will accept that. Tia Mowry is going to have to do what Summer Cree is doing and what all these other old ladies are doing, which is get a guy that doesn't make as much money as you, and then you pay for him, okay? That's how you're going to get what you want. You're going to pay for what you want, all right? And you're not going to get anything on parity because it's just too much competition. She has too much baggage for somebody who is successful to put up with Tia Mowry's bullshit every single day.
She kind of does seem like she could be a bit annoying. It is what it is. You know, I'll say this. I wish her the best. I wish her well. She'll find that guy. I'm sorry, you're going to have to make some adjustments. You put yourself out there. Men aren't really thinking that the squeeze is worth the juice or the juice is worth the squeeze, excuse me. Guys, y'all let me know in the comments. What's your thoughts on this? Does she still have a chance at love? Should she settle? Right? Should she settle for the guy that likes her and let it go? Let the fantasy land go? Get away from delusional land? Or is she destined to just buy a dog and die alone, I guess? I had to borrow that from Kevin Samuels. I'm running out of shit to say. That being said, I'm out, y'all. I have nothing else to say. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.